I'm running away from the past I left behind. I'm looking for answers, but I'm blinded by the light. I'm lost in the music, can I stay here for the night? I promise I'll be gone in the morning, out of sight and out of mind. No blind, out of sight and out of mind. No when you keep running, but your legs are standing still. It's like you're stuck in a nightmare, but you keep doing it for the thrill. Well, this is reality, you only live it once, so wake up from your dream. But just for tonight, let the lines get blurred, let your thoughts be free, let your thoughts be free.
Hello everybody, welcome to the latest Elite FPL 3pm stream, 3pm stream watch along, listen along, whatever you want to bloody call it. The only reason why this is happening is because of this gentleman over here, maybe that one actually, over there, Gary, aka FPL the Beer, because you messaged me, Gary, saying about the fact that regarding last night that I didn't stream, and you said, well, why didn't you could have just asked yourself, and you said a specific line in there which kind of interested me regarding you're trying to feed something. And what is that, Gary?
Content creator addiction, Steve-o.
Yeah. We'll get on to that in a minute.
Okay, what did I say? Did I say something else?
No. That was literally it. It was content creator addiction.
Yeah, I know you coined that term, I think, didn't you? Certainly in my mind you did. Yeah, I hadn't made a video for about a week, and I was shaking, like the alcoholics do. I was like getting withdrawal effects. I needed a hit, Steve, basically.
Yeah, and I wasn't going to be streaming today. It's one of those where there's, like you just mentioned, literally before we went on air, there's only 3 games, but it is all about Salah captaincy today. I'm assuming you've captained Salah, Gary?
Yep. So very pleased to see the team sheets And
Yeah,
Trent.
well, he was always going to start. But more importantly, the legend that is Alex Vollo has captain Ismail Sarr, the guy that creates many thumbnails, including ours. And there's a subject matter we're going to be discussing at some point during this watch along regarding thumbnails. But yeah, Alex Vollo, what did you say to me about Alex Vollo captaining Sarr?
What?
Yeah.
Bloody hell. What the hell are you thinking, basically? Is that a joke?
You thought it was a joke, and no, the answer is no, he is not joking. He does like to play the Maverick moves. If you remember, last game week he captained Cucurella, and he came through with 15. Yeah, he came through with 15 points. So
I thought these were all like mean jokes or something. Trying to,
Nope.
didn't realise he actually did them.
Yep, he legitimately. He's been doing it.
There's Maverick though, Steve-O, and then there's bloody lunatic. See that these do not seem Maverick. These seem very out there.
Well, the main thing is that it occasionally pays off, like the Cucurella one over Palmer. I don't know if you saw an X or not, or even the video yesterday, but I have gone Palmer captaincy. I just think that for someone like me that's in a rank where it's either go for it or basically just stay in the 1 million rank. And I just thought, look, this is the perfect opportunity for Palmer to be able to prove himself once again that he's a fantasy football option. Because am I right in saying that if he blanks tomorrow, it's the best thing to just get rid of him?
I think so, yeah. Well, I don't know. You'd be in a bit of a luxury position to get rid of a player who starts in 29, but I think certainly after 29's up. Well, you could say, I've heard people saying selling him to fund a Haaland move in 29. I guess maybe you could justify it there. But certainly I think by 30, he's 30, 31, whenever we're wildcarding, he's not done anything, has he, for weeks, maybe a month.
Yeah, he got an assist versus West Ham, and that was back in game week 24.
And that's nothing really, is it, for 11 million or whatever he costs. So I will definitely be taking him out of my wild card, and I will not be what's the word? Not. I won't be crying. Put it that way when he leaves.
No, normal. I just want to quickly just say, make sure you are hitting the like button. If you are brand new around here, hit the subscribe button. Gary, you want to send a quick message out to people if they enjoy your content, and what is that?
Oh yes, FPL have a beer. Steve-O's been kind enough to link it in the description. Yeah, I pop up, and I guess the channel now is best known for the interviews I do, sort of on content creator history of particular content creators' careers, their thoughts on FPL mental health. We have general chat about their game week. We had some big ones come out recently, as I think is now the most watched one, which came out a couple of weeks ago. And I had the pleasure of interviewing Mark Southerns last Sunday. That's going to be out in international break. So please subscribe if that sounds interesting to you.
Has been his girlfriend then, has he? For views.
Well, I think it's very close, to be honest, but the fact that his one is picking up views, I'm imagining if it's not above it yet, it will.
It doesn't cause any problems.
Well, I did actually text him about it the other night and told him, and he said, it's only a matter of time.
Yeah. Yeah, some interviews that were done will cause a relationship bust up there. Good afternoon, Andrew Ferguson. Just putting in the team news there for all the games that happen at 3 o'clock. Bilal's
just going to have a look for one of my headphones.
No problem. Bilal's here, which is incredible to see Bilal here. Michael Sweating, good afternoon. Clickers. Danny Boy saying, thank God you were streaming. I just wish someone was doing this when I was at work. It gives me something to do now that Kane has been rested. I don't know what that means, Jack, if you want to let us know. And then Harry saying, good day, Captain Palmer on a -4. End of the season this weekend, it may seem. I don't know about that. I think that it could be quite... I think that, look, at the end of the day, anybody that captains Salah, it's obvious. He's up against one of the worst teams, one of the worst Premier League teams ever in the history of this competition. and Parma's up against one of the worst teams this season. So it is pretty much a 50-50 coin toss with a 50p piece. And the truth of the matter is that I think they personally will come through with give or take the same amount of points. Look, there's some good managers out there that are doing very well this season in which they have Captain Parma. So hopefully that will do. I mean, I've just put my team up on screen for anyone listening in. It's Flecken in goal, Trent, Gabriel, Timber, Palmer captain, Salah and Burmo, Bowen, Gakpo, Cunha, Visser. I put a poll out on X earlier on about who should I start between Robertson and Gakpo. All of 96 people voted in, and basically turned out that they wanted Gakpo to start. Well, he's not even in the squad today, so it doesn't matter. So I've got Katara and Robinson coming off the bench for them two. And yeah, Gary, what is your team today?
Yeah, so I can't find my headphones still. I'm sure when I drop headphones, there's like a different galaxy they go into. They just like, do you know what I mean? They just vanish. Like it will probably turn up now in like 10 years' time. So what did you say?
Your team this game week.
Oh, my team. Okay, let me get up. I've got Pickford in goal. I've got Trent, Gabriel, and Anderson, who scored an own goal the last time we did one of these.
Right, yes.
So hopefully that's not going to happen again. Odegaard, Salah, captain, Palmer, Trossard, and Mbuemo, and then up front, Raul, Jimenez, and Visser.
Confident this game week? Or you just take it as a hit? Whatever happens, this it is, and then it's into. What are you doing for game week 29?
To be honest with you, Steve, this season is starting to become one of those. I'm just going to take it as a hit. I don't know. 29. Well, I had Cunha as well, and I wanted to get rid of him. My initial strategy was going to be get rid of him and bring Wood in, just because everyone has him. So didn't do that. So I was very glad when Wood blanked today. So I've got 2 free transfers for next week. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to get rid of Salah and get Haaland in somehow, or maybe just use them to bring in Wood and Nottingham Forest defender for Anderson, maybe. So I haven't really decided yet, but I wanted to have at least 2 free transfers to, have a bit of flexibility next week. How about yourself, Steve?
Yeah, I pretty much, depending on how Palmer and Salah perform today/tomorrow, I am personally looking at Palmer, Cunha, and Gakpo out for Haaland. Haaland, Wood/Mamouche, but obviously with today, him not starting is a bit of a concern, but I think that's just a one-off. And then a 4.7 midfielder, which I'm looking at to be potentially Enzo for a -4 next week. But to be honest with you, I don't really need to do. I could not have to do anything next week, but I think that the general consensus with the content creators is bringing in Haaland, basically, and by sacrificing Salah. To be honest with you, I think getting rid of Salah is just absolute madness. So I think if I can try and... The thing with getting rid of Salah is that it means then that you can bring in, I'm stating the obvious, a better quality of player. So for argument's sake, if I was to get rid of Salah, I'd have 9 million in the bank if I brought in Haaland and Mamouche. But I just think just getting rid of Salah is just mad. So getting rid of Palmer is probably the better option.
No, I agree with you, but while you were saying that, I've just had a look. I can't do it. If I get rid of Cunha and bring Haaland in and get rid of Palmer, I have 3.8 million in the bank. So I can't do it. But I definitely get what you mean. I mean, I've got, I think, 0.5 or 0.6 tied up in Salah now. Is it worth losing that amount of money for one game week, basically? I mean, I guess I could take a hit and get rid of maybe Trent as well and Palmer. That might be worth looking at it, but I hate taking hits. I think I've only taken one all season.
Well, Andrew Ferguson, a member of Patreon, and also doing very well this season. Curtis Jones just coming close there. He took out for a -4 Cunha and Hall for Wood and Vardiol. So he's on 0. it's very unfortunate. That result, Gary, wasn't a surprise, was it? I said it on the video / in general. It's going to be a very tight game. 1-0 either way, 1-1, 2-1 either way. Ended 1-0 Nottingham Forest. By all accounts, Man City were absolute pants. No creativity whatsoever.
I mean, when I interviewed Mark Summers the other day, we were talking, because he's a big Forest fan, and he was basically saying back in the when he got into football, I mean, he's actually older than us even, Steve. Like in the late 70s when Forest were winning, they won a couple of Champions League, or the European Cup as it was called then, and his dad said to him, we'll never see the like of this again. Now, obviously, they're not winning the European Cup, but he was saying, like, this season is basically the closest. I mean, they've got a real chance at the Champions League, haven't they? Like, I not winning the Champions League, but getting in it, I mean.
Yeah, and like I said, they've got a very, very good manager in Nuno, a very experienced manager. He seems to do very well with like a 3-5-2 formation, using the wing backs and whatnot, and making sure they have a target man, and basically making sure they're using as much width as possible and able to contain teams as well. And this season, he's proven wonders. Jack saying here, Bayern have rested Harry Kane today, so it's normally the team that I would watch. Harry Dawson did Robinson and Katara out for Vardiol and Trossard. Hopefully that was for free. No, you did that for a -4.
Harry Kane might actually win something this season, mightn't he? I think Bayern Munich.
The Bundesliga.
Well, I said something. Well, that's what he went there for. Are they still in the Champions League, aren't they?
They are. They won 3-0 against Bayer Leverkusen.
Well, yeah. So
that's about as much Champions League knowledge you're going to get out of me.
I think fair play to him. I think he deserves give him a, maybe not the Champions League, but definitely give him a few Bundesliga titles before he comes back to the Premier League and smashes Shearer's record, which, as a Newcastle fan, will annoy me immensely. But I can see it happening.
Harry Dawson saying, I'll probably be on a -8 next week. If I go Palmer to Haaland, but after watching him today, I think he may just be an avoid altogether.
-8?
Are you thinking of bringing in Haaland, Gary, at all?
Yeah, possibly, as I said, but I mean, I would struggle to justify doing it for a -4. A -8, no, I wouldn't be doing that. I mean, who's he got in 30? Because a lot of people are saying they're going to wild card in 31 now, aren't they? So I guess who he's got in 30?
Man City in Gameweek 30, they have
Leicester at home.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I think people are bringing him in equally for that as they are for the blank. Because I guess we'll captain him there, and then wild card, and then obviously everything can change around at that point. I don't know. I'm tempted. But I think you're right. I think I'd have to find a way of doing it which doesn't involve selling Salah. So maybe I think Trent. I think I'll go Trent to a Nottingham Forest defender, Palmer to someone incredibly cheap and not play them, and then Cunha up to Haaland. Do you reckon that'd be worth it for a -4?
Rid of Trent, but then again, what does Trent exactly do other than get?
He's blanking next. He's blanking next game.
He's blanking next game week. Yeah, I think that it's all depending on when you're thinking of wild card. And me and Ray are thinking game week probably 31, 30.
Yeah, same.
I think 31's probably the best time, because then obviously the following game week is the double. At that point, we'll have a better layout of the land of what's exactly happening with the doubles. I mean,
is that why people are saying 31? Because we'll have more information about the doubles in 30.
I'm just speculating, but you got to think by game week.
I think it is.
You're looking.
I think that's what people are saying. It.
April the 5th. So we're only.
There's a massive break after this next game week, isn't there?
So that's literally April the 5th. There's not that much long to go before the actual end of the season. So we will have a general layout of the land by then.
Sorry, Steve, I know that's another good reason not to do it next game week, because there could be tons of players and stuff get injured over that long break. So that's another reason for doing it in 31 rather than 30. Oh no, but then 30, no, sorry, I'm getting confused. Because 30 will be the week after the big international break, won't it? Sorry, I'm not making sense there.
It's funny you mentioned about getting rid of Trent Alexander-Arnold. I personally would have then. Well, oh, that's why. I just realised I've got the wrong screen up. I was thinking, I've got a lot of money there. It's because I had Salah out of the team at that point.
Okay.
But for game week 29, you're not free hitting. So are you concerned about not free hitting and up against the free hitters, or do you just think actually most of the players they're going to be bringing in is give or take going to be similar to what we've got anyway?
I think we talked about it last time I was on here a couple of weeks ago. I think, well, there was a poll on Scout that I saw yesterday, and I think only about 10% of people were free hitting, like a poll of are you going to free hit or not. So A, I think it's going to be a very small number of people that are free hitting, and B, I don't think there's going to be that much difference. And even if there is a difference, Steve, we're going to crawl that difference back, I would say, and then some when we wildcard free hit in 34 or whenever we decide to do it. So, even if they do get 10 points on us or 15 points on us next game week, I wouldn't it wouldn't worry me too much. I guess Haaland's the one that if you don't buy him could punish you.
Harbour Boy asking, is there anything happening in these matches? Have a guess. You may as well not be here, Harbour Boy. It's an absolute waste of time. You've been up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Go back to bed. Absolutely. Say it again.
Where does he live, mate?
New Zealand.
Oh, bloody hell.
A loyal fan of the show, but honestly, I would not be awake for this garbage. I really would not.
I remember when I interviewed Nick Triggerlips, because he lives in New Zealand, he told me he gets up at 1 or 2 in the morning every bloody weekend to watch the matches. Yeah. Gary, you should go around Triggerlips' house and, you can all have a beer and help keep each other awake or something.
Harbour Boy, how far are you away from Nick, actually? Harry Dawson saying my plan would be to wildcard out Trent Palmer, Cunha out for 8 Yuri Haaland. Oh, no, sorry. My plan would be Trent Palmer and Cunha out for 8 Yuri Haaland and mid below. What's this obsession with 8 Yuri as well? People are aware how bad Wolves are. And you'll find out tonight.
The models love him.
Oh, the models, right. Okay.
The models, yeah. Review wanted me to get rid of Davis for 8 Nuri this week, and I was like, what? No.
How much is 8 Nuri, just of interest? Let's just quickly find out. I'm going to guess 4.5, 4.4, 4.7. So
he's one of those players that like 2 or 3 times a season, everyone will be recommending him. You know what I mean? He's like, I remember there was a point earlier in the season when Wolves had a good fixture. Oh, 8 Nuri will be good. 8 Nuri will be good. I don't think I've ever owned him. So
this is his returns over the last, since game week 19 against Tottenham, he got 10, and then it's 1. Then it's 1, 1, 1, 2, 7, 1, 6, 1. So
they've got Wolves in 29, haven't Southampton away, in 29.
Look, their fixtures, Everton tonight. Okay, we're not talking about that. So Southampton away. Do I expect them to get anything out of that game? Maybe, but a clean sheet? No. West Ham at home? No. Ipswich away? Spurs, Man United? They're just horrible. Horrible.
He lives 800 kilometres away from Triggerlips. I didn't even realise New Zealand was 800 kilometres long.
All right.
Probably says more about my lack of geography, Steve, than anything else.
I'm just looking at Haaland at the moment, and to be fair, apart from today, he's been quite consistent over the last several fixtures. 2 double-digit hauls, both at home against West Ham and Chelsea. So I think the plan. I like the plan of keeping Salah and getting rid of Palmer, Cunha and Gakpo, because Palmer's fixtures, okay, they've got Ipswich in game week 32, but Arsenal, Spurs and Brentford the next 3. They're not exactly appetising, whereas Salah after game week 29, it is, I'm sure it's Everton. Yeah, Everton, Fulham, and West Ham, and then Leicester. I know the argument is always, though, are you going to be captaining Haaland or Salah? So, captain Haaland against Brighton, Haaland against Leicester, and then they've got Man United, Crystal Palace 31-32, where in theory you could be captaining Salah. Also, game week 31-32, they've got Fulham away, West Ham at home. I think that anybody that's getting rid of Salah, it's just purely for the fact that he's blanking and the fact that they're probably not going to captain him. Would I be right in saying that, Gary?
Yeah, I mean, based on current form, I don't know what you think. I guess I would probably be as comfortable captaining Chris Wood away to Ipswich as I would Haaland at home to Brighton. I really think it's that following game week. I reckon people want him at home versus Leicester in 30. I think if he had, like, say he had, I don't know, Bournemouth away in 30, I don't think there would be such a strong argument for getting him. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'd like to do it just to get my rank up a bit because I'm still meandering about 400,000 at the minute. But then again, if Andy, Let's Talk FPL, Andy starts talking about it and, you know, it starts becoming the thing to do over the next week, then everyone's going to be bloody doing it anyway, aren't they? So there's not going to be any, not really be any upside in terms of what to gain. So,
well, I've got a bit of news from the Liverpool game, everybody. Bednarak's just got really badly injured. So there's going to be a bit of stoppage time at the end of the first half. Brilliant. I've got Jason's team up on screen at the moment. He did Cook. I'm pretty certain his transfer this week was Cucurella in. Yeah, for Hall. He
talk about knee jerk.
Yeah, and he still isn't playing Trossard. So players today: Henderson, Konate, Salah captain, Foden, Mamouche, and Wood.
Happy birthday to Steve, Jason, by the way.
Yes.
You made me laugh yesterday, Steve, when you were saying about him. You were like, Jason can't make a video today because it's his birthday and he's going out for a meal with his wife. How dare he?
I always steal that line from David Brent when he's saying that motivational speech. He just says the line, he's got a more attractive wife. That line is delivered to perfection. Now, you're. I don't know if you want to talk about this or not, but I don't see why not. Me and you are going to be at some point in the next year are going to be covering a tier list of British sitcoms, aren't we?
Yes. Well, I'm hoping to set it up and maybe do it over the next week at some point. Yeah. I think we mentioned it last time, didn't we? But we're actually on the verge of doing it now. I was watching. Do you know that channel you said you started watching, the tier list one with?
Oh yes, yeah.
I've seen a few other ones. He's got like Gavin and Stacey, and then he was talking about. No, actually, it was when you were on Juice this week rating them, and you said Gavin and Stacey in betweeners. I realised I'd never watched either of them. Not seriously, anyway. I think I've seen a few episodes of Gavin and Stacey. It was like there was a period of about 10, 15 years that I just didn't watch TV. And I think I watched the Peep Show.
Hold on a minute. What did you just say then? There was a period you didn't watch. Sorry?
I hardly watched TV for 10, 15 years. I mean, I say hardly. I mean, I did watch occasional things, but, I wasn't watching much. I mean, someone's Zygo, they're saying I've not missed much with Gavin and Stacey. I think I watched a couple of Gavin and Stacey's, and I was just like, it reminded me like Love Actually and things like that, like this like sickly romantic comedy, which I'm not a fan of, Steve-O. But the in-betweeners, I think I have watched a couple of those and I did really like it, but I've just never found time to actually go and watch, because I wasn't watching it when it was originally out. I've just never found time to go and catch up with it, if you get what I mean.
Just quick bit of news on Crystal Palace for Alex Follow if he's listening in. Big chance for Crystal Palace involving Nketiah and Eze. FPL Zykel saying, I'm making my bid to reach near the top 100 by captaining Palmer. Well, I've got some bad news for you, Zykel. It ain't happening because I've captained him. God help you. I'm praying for Salah only gets one return. There's a fat chance, but who cares? Well, unfortunately, the fact that I've captained Palmer means, as you've depicted there, you're in the shitter. Afternoon, Colm. I'm looking at Hall to either Ain't-Nuri or Kirkers next week. Well, the good thing for you, Colm, is that you normally copy most of the big content creators, so I'm going to assume it's going to be Ain't-Nuri.
Does Zykel literally mean... Sorry, does he literally mean the top 100, or is he saying top 100k? If he's near the top 100, that's bloody...
I'm assuming top
crazy.
100. I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it as read.
Wow. Well,
yeah, Gary Harbour Boy. He's also called Gary. He's 16 hours away from Trigger Lips by car. I wouldn't mind doing a patient transport job doing that.
I'm going to have a look at a map of New Zealand. I really didn't think it was that big.
Lee Brunt saying, I was thinking of getting a Man City midfielder. Who to get? Don't bother. Zykel saying, I'm thinking of capping Wood next week. Really interested in either Alanga, Morello, Ain't-Nuri to get 11 out next week. He's also wishing a happy birthday to Jace. And he also says there's so many great ones to choose from. I haven't watched Gavin Estate. To be honest, nor have I. I've never watched Gavin Estate. It's never appealed to me, to be honest with you, Gavin and Stacey. It's
the thing with New Zealand, Steve-O, is completely on a tangent. I'm just looking at it on a map. It is very long, actually. I think it's It's very long, but it's very thin. So actually, I think probably you could take 16 hours to drive across it.
Was Colm saying there? Wolves fixtures are amazing. Look, I'm being facetious. They are excellent. There's no denying that Wolves fixtures upcoming from next week, to be completely frank. They got Southampton, West Ham, Ipswich, and there's Tottenham, Man United, Leicester. So yeah, certainly Nuri is a logical pick, shall we say. I'm still in this mindset of this whole thing regarding Haaland, and certainly me able to bring him in and get rid of the Chelsea, to get rid of Palmer, but still keep Salah is... Would you say that's quite a powerful move, Gary?
Sorry, say again, mate?
To be having Salah and Haaland moving forward, quite powerful.
I don't know.
You don't know?
You know what we're going to... Well, obviously, in theory, yes, but it depends what you lose elsewhere, doesn't it?
Well,
I'm going to
just Palmer, Cunha and Gakpo.
I mean, well, okay, but I mean, if you're talking about that in the long term, there's gonna be an awful lot of money in those two plays, isn't there?
Well, no, this would be it for me. It would be up until wildcard 31, and then me and Ray.
I think it's fine. Yeah, I think it's fine for until the wildcard. But people are talking about wildcarding with Salah and Haaland, and I think then you got to look at the balance of the overall team, because it's going to, particularly if you get rid of Salah and bring him back in, I mean, it's going to cost a bloody lot of money. It's going to be what, 30, best part of 30 million in your budget, basically.
Yeah, next week, I'm just kind of obviously not even finished game week 28, but next week for captaincy, it's for me looking like Haaland's the safety pick, shall we say. Fernandes away at Leicester, Gary, perhaps, because that will be definitely on free hit teams. Player Fernandes.
I don't know about captain. I mean, I wouldn't mind having him. I'd certainly prefer to have him than most of the midfielders I've got for next week. But captain, I don't know. He's been pretty hit and miss this year, hasn't he? Actually, he's sixth in the midfield charts, which isn't bad actually. But yeah, no, I wouldn't captain in Steve-O. But I'd certainly probably have him in on a free hit. I can't believe I'm looking at I can't believe Salah's on 292 points. I mean, he should be getting on to 300 today, really, shouldn't he?
Well, he should be, but it's still 0-0 between Liverpool and Southampton. It's been half an hour gone. Admittedly, they've had Admittedly, they've had about 3 or 4 minutes of stoppage time during that game. But Bilal asking the question here, and he says, would you bring back the assistant manager chip next year? I'll just give you my answer. They're going to be bringing it back no matter what. It's there to stay. What do you think, Gary? Would you want it back?
Do I want it back? No, not really. Just because I think it doesn't add anything to the game. It's just like a random pick of a manager, like usually, I'm a decent player at this game, and I like to think that I get up there by making good picks and picking good captaincies. Whereas the assistant manager is just pick a team, see what happens, basically, And I mean, the ironic thing, Steve, is it really didn't actually make that much difference this season because most active players have played it. And I mean, Roberto had that table up. I think the variance between points that people actually had, I think, was about 15 points, which I know is a fair bit, but not really that much. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I don't want it, really.
Just looking at Mr. Reed's team, he did Munoz and Trent in for Hall and Saliba. That was a free transfer. I did tell him, why did you do that, considering that those two are going to be blanking next week, but he is just... It's really annoying because I didn't realise how far he dropped.
Is he engaged? I mean, does he know about the blank?
Mr. Reed knows nothing about FPL. He keeps coming to me and he just completely ignores my advice. But then again, as of only a few weeks ago, he was 82,000th in the world. That was in game week 23, and he's dropped down to 474,000th. And I'm now catching up with him.
Surely he's got a free. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's got 6 players blanking.
And he hasn't got he's used every chip. Apart from assistant manager.
Well, he's going to be a bit screwed next week then, isn't he?
Good. Good. Stuff him.
Dude, it's a good position in the world if he doesn't know anything about FPL and he's taking your advice, mate.
Want to hear his bench?
Go on.
He's got Robinson, who will be coming on for Gakpo, fair enough. And then the next person on the bench is Alanga, fair enough. Then after that is Anya.
Oh God, did Alanga score, or was that Gibbs?
No, I thought he got an assist today.
Yeah, I'll just have a look.
No, he only. All right,
no, it was Hudson with the
who got the assist?
Gibbs White assist.
Gibbs White assist. Hudson. Oh right, Gibbs White. Right, okay. Well, yeah.
He's a nice player, Gibbs White. I like watching him.
Yeah, he did very well he came from Wolves, didn't he?
I think so, yeah.
I'm sure it was.
Yeah, he just has a bit of a classy. I like the players that have a kind of classy feel to them. You know what I mean? It reminds me a bit of like football from when I was a kid, sort of thing. But yeah, it's not looking too good. I'm surprised Liverpool have not done anything yet.
No, they have done absolutely nothing. I say thank goodness. I'm hoping obviously they will be winning today. It'd be like 2-3-0 by the end of it. But apparently Aaron Ramsdale is having the game of his life. Danny Boy's saying, I'll be watching Bowen in the flesh next week against at Goodison, so I'll be captaining him. That's what I want to hear, Jack. John Hayes, nice to see you guys online this afternoon. No, thank you for joining us. Zeitgel's rank at the moment is 842nd in the world. Gary.
Bloody hell. Well done, mate. Yeah. I don't know. The thing is, it's probably still about 100 points off number one, isn't it? Because it gets very, very tight when you start getting like in the top 1,000.
Well, you've already proved it with how tight it is just in the 400, 500k area. It's just
but I think like the points difference between like 500k and 100k is probably the same difference between like 500 and 100. You know what I mean? Because you get people with like ridiculous scores when you get that up that high, don't you?
Absolutely.
But to be honest, any sort of 3-digit finish would be I mean, I've never had a 3-digit finish. That'd be pretty good. I'd be very happy with a finish in the top 1,000.
Sorry, I've just heard that Luton are down. Sorry, Burnley are at home to Luton, and Luton have had a player sent off. I was near Luton today. Funny enough, Luton's not too far away from Whipsnade Zoo, and I could have I was genuinely thinking, can I drive to Luton today? Which again is just up the road in theory. It'll take about an hour or so, and just turn up and watch Burnley. I've just realised, Luton aren't actually at home, are they? So it does that's a complete pointless conversation. How close are you to Leighton Orient again?
10-minute walk.
Oh, so we'll go and visit there tomorrow then.
We could do. Yeah.
If people don't know, me and Gary are actually going to be meeting in person. We've met in person before for FPL Juice.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we will be meeting up. It's going to take me about an hour and a half in total.
We'll have a day. We're having an afternoon out.
Afternoon out, and I just realised that the Chelsea game isn't on TV, so we can't even go into a pub and get. Hold on a minute, we've got a goal, and it's Burnley. It's an own goal. Look, a win's a win. This is all we care about.
You were we were texting last week. You weren't very happy with Burnley playing essentially a reserve team in the FA Cup, were you?
No, it annoys me because I always believe in football is momentum, and if you can it's like we did in the Owen Coyle season in 2008, 2009, where he was playing the same team week in, week out, and we got to the semi-finals of what is now the Carabao Cup. And went out due to the away goal rule. And I think the reason why we did so well is because he was so consistent with the team, whereas Parker's just basically thinking we need to get to the Premier League. That's my priority. And I was just thinking, well, you're doing really well in the FA Cup would probably send out a really good message to the team that, Parker's got faith in us. So,
if you're a team the size of Burnley, no offence, and you're in the 5th round, was it? I don't see. I would put. I mean, it frustrated me so much as a Newcastle fan. Not now, but throughout the 2000s, 2010s, we were, basically struggling against relegation, getting relegated mid-table, and every single bloody FA Cup 3rd round, 4th round, Carabao Cup, it was second string, and I was just like, what's the point? Do you know what I mean? Like it was a time when being a Newcastle fan was horrible anyway. Oh, I've just seen I've just seen a goal, Steve. Because I've actually got him up.
Tell us. Don't bother me. You're the host.
According to BBC Sport, you're the host. Raul Jimenez is involved for Fulham, who I've got.
What?
I'm assuming he scored.
So you've got the website up. Well, we'll find out in 2 seconds.
Yeah, Raul Jimenez, perfect counter-attack, and that's all it says at the minute. Raul Jimenez for Fulham, who I've got.
All it says is Raul Jimenez.
Yeah, and perfect counter-attack.
Hopefully Robinson's involved.
Yeah.
Well, they haven't said anything on TalkSport yet. I know they've just been to an advert, but there's nothing on TalkSport. Are you sure it's been given, or has it gone to VAR?
It may go. I mean, that's Alex Iwobi assist, apparently.
What if it does happen?
I mean, usually it will come up with a goal, and then it will say, if it's not going to happen, it will come up like, VAR check, and then I'm like, flipping it. I'm being very careful with my language today.
On a minute, sorry,
yes.
Just internet. FPL Zeitgold, are you Christian Man? Is that you? Because number one in the YouTube chat league it's got to be. I've just got the team up on screen. 842 points. I've heard nothing still on TalkSport yet, Gary.
Well, it's up there, mate. It's in the chat as well. Perfect counter-attack. Alex Iwobi. There's brilliantly discipline beyond Estupinan. down the right wing,
you're right.
and delivers a clever cross to Raul Jimenez, who tucks it away nicely.
Yeah.
Just as I predicted he would when I put him in my team ahead of Davis.
Wow. Raul Jimenez.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't even have him starting on FF Scouts. They do the predicted teams. They had the other lads. They had the other lads starting.
They're normally quite good at that as well.
I know. Apparently, Munoz scored in. I think he scored in 27, and did he score against Man United in the FA Cup as well? So I think they were going on the basis that he was on form. But Jimenez usually starts, doesn't he? If there's not been 2 games in a week. So yeah.
Well, you're going to have to keep us up to date with what's going on, because my phone has literally just decided to crash.
Okay, mate.
So I have no idea what on earth has happened there. But literally, as you were speaking, it just came through that you are right that Jimenez has scored for Fulham, and like you stated, I mean, it hasn't come up with an assist yet on the FPL website, but I'm assuming that will come through too. So yeah, I'm assuming this is Zeitgold's team.
He said yes in the chat.
You said yeah. So Christian,
yes, with a big thumbs up next to him.
This is Christian's team, who's 842nd in the world.
On screen.
Raya, Chalobah, Poro, Owen, and then he's got Isaac Visser, Wood, Salah, Trent, and Burmo, but Palmer captain. Bloody hell, Christian, what do you know that we don't?
Strange defence, but the rest of it, yeah. I mean, Poro.
Yeah, and the rest of it, Tarkowski and Lewis. So, evidently, Christian, this is just kind of, in a way, kind of proves a point, doesn't it? That just sticking with template players, it will get you somewhere, but sometimes you really do need to pull your finger away. And I really do hope that the Palmer captain, I'm stating the bloody obvious, but I really do hope that Palmer does come through with something tomorrow. I think that people were very, very, very unlucky last week in a 4-0 win against Southampton for him to do nothing, and very fortuitous for Palmer captains, even though Salah came through with a double anyway. But this week,
I captained him last week. It was annoying.
I'm just wondering if maybe this was the week to maybe it's sod's law that you just have Palmer for those 2 fixtures. We have Salah anyway, and it's just one of those where maybe this was the best team. But that is Christian's team, 842nd in the world. Absolutely extraordinary. I mean, I can't imagine what it's like to be that high up in the ranks. I mean, you were, though, a few seasons ago, very high up.
Yeah, but not at this stage. That was like game week 6 or 7. I was about 200. But I'm just looking at the max stats, Liverpool versus Southampton. They're already on 1.2 XG and 73% possession. So they're definitely hammering Southampton. They just haven't found the goal yet. It was weird. It was weird being up that high, and it ended up being my worst ever season. I ended up finishing 350,000.
How ironic is that?
Yeah, I know. I don't know. It was a season. Do you remember the season? It was really big at the back. It was like Alonso, Mendy from Man City, Trent probably, and they started the season like a house on fire. I think I also had Edison, and he got an assist. And I was just looking at it, and I was like, I can't believe this. And then after about, I think they showed you've seen my video on the Wildcats when they wrote.
Yes.
I think they actually like cursed me, because basically once they talked about my team, I just went down and down and down and down for the rest of the season. Well, actually, that's not quite true. That was in Gameweek 3. I was outside of 1 million by Christmas, because I actually fought back a bit. So, but I do think I've learned something this season, that they say you can't win FPL at the start of the season, but you can definitely lose it. And I've definitely found that this season, being 5 million after 6 or 7 game weeks, and getting up as been a battle all the way through, and then hitting 400,000, and then just being stuck there. Yeah. I wonder how he's got points out of Poro and Chalobah.
I mean, he's making a very good point here, just below, saying here, finding it's half risk, half safe seems to be working. It's very, very true. Kind of similar to what Alex Volo does, really, even though it's the complete opposite. Whereas Alex Volo's 2 millionth in the world, he's 840th. Colm saying Jimenez was on the bench in the cup because Silva knew he wouldn't last the 120 minutes, and he's now the team's main penalty taker. So, just going to quickly say, make sure you are hitting the like button. It does help with the stream. That's one of the few things I've learnt, Gary, is hitting the like button while streaming kind of helps it push out into the algorithm. That's the main bloody thing. And of course, if you are brand new around here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Because guess what, Gary? Guess how many subscribers we've lost since the last video I did?
I thought you said you gained some after you did that walking video. I thought you said after you did the walking around the field video, you gained some. Van Heck scored from Brighton, by the way.
Who?
Van Heck, an Ayari assist. Never heard of Ayari. So
it's 1-1 Brighton, is it?
Yeah.
And someone called Van Heck.
Van Heck, yeah, he's a defender, isn't he?
I know exactly who he is.
I don't know who Ayari is, who got the assist. That's a new name to me. But so you were saying about subscribers.
Was I?
Yeah. You said how many subscribers do you think I've lost?
Yeah, it's been 2.
Really? Was since last night?
Yeah, so Van Heck has scored and Ayari got the assist again. Just like the last time you were on. No.
Who's Ayari?
Ayari, yeah. Ayari. Never heard of him. So again, like last time, we've got one player that's got an effect on FPL, and it's for you. Yeah.
Well, at least it's not an Anderson bloody own goal for me this time.
So Gary is winning today. Gary is actually winning. Apparently there's been a goal for Burnley. I don't know what's up with Talk Sport today. They're normally really, really quick with everything. I mean, admittedly, they're on a advert at the moment, but this is just ridiculous. It's like they're...
Why do you listen to Talk Sport instead of like BBC Radio? Because they don't have that.
I just find that with Talk Sport, ironically, it feels during football days, it just feels a bit more... I'm just wondering if... No, it is all live. It just feels a bit more real. 5 Live just feels a bit trying to preach too much.
Do you remember TalkSport? I remember I used to listen to it back in about the late 90s, 2000. It wasn't originally TalkSport. It was originally Talk Radio or something, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah.
And then it became Talk. It used to be quite fun.
Hold on, goal, Southampton. Southampton has scored.
Really?
Southampton has just scored. Smallbone.
Who? Oh yeah.
You don't know who Smallbone is? How can you not know who Smallbone is?
I've heard of Small Boner, but that's something. Smallbone, Will Smallbone. No, I never heard of him. I don't even know if I could name like more than one Southampton player, to be honest.
And this is the thing when it comes to guess the player on FPL Juice. Sometimes there are teams where I think if I was to be given, I don't know, Leicester, Southampton, Ipswich, I'd be doomed. If I could only think of, say, Ipswich, Delap, Murich. That's about as far as my knowledge goes.
Oh, that's Trent clean sheet gone as well.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Oh, look.
7 point. He went up in price for some reason last night as well.
Did he?
I have no idea why he went up in price, but I just don't think.
More money was selling.
He's certainly somebody I won't be keeping on the wild card.
Cedar says, love Talk Radio UK. Caesar the geezer, Tommy Boyd. Tommy Boyd was the one I was thinking of. He was hilarious.
Tommy Boyd?
Yeah, it was complete.
Rings a bell, I can't.
I think he was best mates with Timmy Mallet for some reason. He had some sort of link with Timmy Mallet, but his show was just insane. It was just like being on acid or something. It just went from one topic to another. He's a massive wrestling fan.
Oh no!
During the Attitude Era, he spent a lot of time talking about wrestling. It was good fun.
Connor, good afternoon. Saying if Southampton scored off a throw-in, the ball was spilled by Allison, and Smallbone was there to pick up the pieces.
Okay.
Afternoon, Connor, by the way.
Well, maybe it will prompt the beast Liverpool to realise they've actually got to do something. It'll probably mean less chance of Salah.
You know how you always say about history and all this? Is that, so for instance, Nottingham Forest Man City, that's now the 6th time out of 7 matches a team has kept a clean sheet. In the Liverpool-Southampton game, it always predicts lots of goals. And
Liverpool-Southampton, okay.
Yeah, and we've got a goal for Southampton. So you'd expect. It's very rare for Liverpool to keep clean sheets against Southampton. So yeah.
We're talking about subscribers, Steve. I've managed to gain 60 odd this week, despite the fact my
just send them our way.
I think even despite the fact my interview this week was with FPL Pricey, and that's like the lowest viewed video.
Hold on, sorry, just to interject there. Only Nunes, he's definitely got a yellow card, but it's looking like.
Who's that, Liverpool?
Yeah, it could have been a red. It's not going to be, but VAR not looking at it, but it's definitely potential. Could have been a red. In fact, Calder staff is saying there that it could have been a... Oh, wait a minute. VAR is getting involved. Hold on. VAR are getting involved in...
What, with the sending off?
Potentially... No, it's going to be... It's only going to be a yellow card. It's only going to be a yellow. Sorry, you were saying, Gary, about subscribers.
Yeah, I've had about 65 subscribers this week, which I think is the most I've ever had in a week. But my actual video with Pricey this week hasn't got me a single subscriber. I think it's because the interviews that I've got are kind of back cataloguing up. So people are watching them, even though they came out weeks ago, and subscribing from them. That's the only thing I can figure out that's going on. But it's nice to get that, you know what I mean, when the video I had out this week didn't do that well. So, yeah.
What was the video? What, with Pricey?
Pricey, yeah. It's fine. It was a good video, but I think it's got like 200 views, whereas the previous interviews I've had out recently have been like 1,000, 1,500 views.
Well, it's like you mentioned in the voice message that... Oh, no, not the voice message, but in the interview itself, you said he's got...
he was following up. Yeah, he was following up the interviews. Yeah,
and then it's Sam. Who's next? Who's coming out next?
Adam.
Above average FPL. I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's out on Tuesday. Then Mark Southerns be the week after, and then your good friend Nick from FPL Juice.
Oh, excellent.
Coming up. Excellent. And I had. James the Planet FPL told me today he's up for coming on as well. But,
excellent.
But I'll have to do that. That one's not been done yet. We're going to record that in the international break sometime.
That's very, very good. Yeah, he's a very difficult to get hold of, James. Not difficult to get hold of, but difficult to get. I
messaged 8 people last night to see and get them on. None of them have replied yet, but he replied in about he replied within a couple of hours. So he just said I have to plan my life very carefully in advance. So I think it might be, but yeah, he's a great mind to get on. I'm starting to see with the interviews, they kind of like fall into different categories. Like the one with Nightmare was more, the mental health side. The one with Nick, which hasn't come out yet, and the one with myself, which Yelena did, are more like a bit more comedic. Whereas the ones like with Praz, and I'm guessing it probably would be with FPL and James, they're more FPL. Even though we don't necessarily talk about what's going on in this game week, we talk about a lot about, Praz talk about processes and things like that. I'm imagining that, and it would be good to get into his brain to figure. A lot of people say he's sort of like Well, I don't know if the biggest brain in biggest brain. He's a bit of an FPL sort of genius, isn't he, with the fixtures and all that sort of thing.
It's more. I'd say more. It's football.
Football,
FPL.
yeah, maybe. That's what.
Football, James is very, very knowledgeable about. But then that kind of ties in with FPL, and when you're passionate about anything, and in his specific case, football, and you tie it in with FPL, it's going to make a magical kind of connection with one another. I mean, Bilal's asking you here, what inspired you to create FPL content, and what has been your favourite interview so far, and why? And by the way, it's half time, everybody. It's 1-1 between Brighton and Fulham, 1-0 to Southampton, which of course is the shot result, and 0-0 between Crystal Palace and Ipswich.
So, I mean, I've talked about this with Theo before. Literally, Bilal, I was bored one night and decided I wanted to stop spending most of my evenings playing computer games, and decided to make a content creator tier list video, which took off a bit, and then I just decided to keep going. It was pretty random, really. It wasn't as if I had any grand plans to start FPL YouTube, and then I've just loved doing it ever since. Favorite interview so far? I'm going to have to say Mark Sutherland's. I haven't actually gone on record as saying what my favorite interview has been, but I think it has to be Mark Sutherland's, just because, I mean, when I was talking to Mark Sutherland's, this one's not out yet. You're not just interviewing someone, Steve-O. You're interviewing, I don't like this nickname, but the God. You invented the man who created it all, basically, aren't you? It's like it's a history lesson, not just of him. It's a history of FPL content, because he started it all. So that's got to be the favorite one so far.
With Mark, I know a lot about, not just through interviews, but I kind of was on the same journey, so to speak. And what's really interesting is, so next week on the Total Steeler podcast, I'm literally every day there's a daily diary from 2011/12.
Daily diary?
And it's, well, my emails that I had at the time.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned
I'm literally just reading them out. They're only like 10 minutes long, some of them 6 minutes long. And what's really interesting is there's one about fantasy football. And it's the first time that I'm playing it. And me and my mate are having a conversation about which players to pick. And there's a website called Fantasy Football Scout. Here's a link and all this. And that would have been around the time when I really started wanting to start engaging with Fantasy Football Scout. And then,
Still, he actually told me in school, before FPL had even became a thing, he and his mates started a thing in school, which was like, you pick a player, you pick a team. I can't remember the exact ins and outs. So basically similar to what you did in Tesco's, but almost before fantasy football existed. So I think he's a bit annoyed that he can't actually say that. He said he could have pushed it a bit further, and maybe he could have actually created FPL as well as FPL.
It's a lot of these things. It's like, for argument's sake, with Facebook or whatever, people have got an idea of something, but it's taken it to the next level. And for me, with like you stated about it's not even making up a game. It was literally just taking a game that already existed, but using my own rules and just emailing people the results and whatnot. And what I found really interesting, I've actually got an email from Jonty's, aka FF Scout Joe. I've actually got an email from him about just clarifying a few things regarding Burnley in the 2011-12 season when we went up. That must have been underneath Dyche. I wrote an article about Burnley. And
you wrote an article about Burnley?
Yeah. And
no, I didn't realise. I thought you said you just commented. I didn't realise you wrote articles.
No. I think I wrote a couple of articles for them.
Oh, okay.
And I was, like I said, I was a prominent poster in the sense of I was the one, because I literally just listened to TalkSport all day, and I was pretty much the first one. I was like the equivalent of, your team leakers these days, and goal leakers and whatnot, or any form of transfer gossip. I would always have some kind of, well, not me personally, but I knew who the reliable journalists were on TalkSport, and I'd always be writing which transfers were going to be happening. And it was, as Trigger Lips keeps talking about, it was an era where fantasy football was, I don't know, it was just more enjoyable. Whereas nowadays, which kind of beautifully links me into something that you want to talk about, kind of I just find FPL is just so saturated. But yeah, there was a conversation piece that you wanted to bring up today, Gary, without using any names. But take it away.
Careful. Okay, all right. So there's two parts to it. The first one I wanted to get your opinion on. So I'm part of a content creator chat group, which has got 30 odd content creators in it. And it transpired over the last couple of days that a very, very small content creator was basically ripping off other people's thumbnails. So he'd taken thumbnails off of one very large content creator and a couple of, I'd say, medium-sized content creators, and had just used them on his videos. And when they approached him about it, I wouldn't say he stuck his finger up, but basically said, I've suggested maybe you should remove them. Anyway, within the content creator group chat, there was a big split. Half of the people were basically saying, why are you bothering? It doesn't matter. He's not getting any views anyway. Like, who cares? Whereas the other half are very passionately, this guy is ripping off such and such a person's work. And somebody else made the point that a very content creator who's quite large now actually used to do this. And one of the reasons their channel originally started getting traction was through doing this. So, I mean, I'm somewhere in the middle. I kind of think, it's annoying and he should be, he shouldn't be doing it, but it's still wrong. I don't know. What's your take on it?
So for me, I was thinking about this actually weirdly, not this specific subject matter, but it links me into this subject matter, which was, so yesterday while I was bored out of my mind, lying on my bed, because I'm officially off sick at the moment with my foot. So it ends up with me. Did
the operation go right, man?
It was fine. It was fine. It's just walking around for a sustained period of time. It's just there. But anyway, so while I was doom scrolling on YouTube while lying on my bed and just seeing what I could find on TV, a particular band, a deathcore band, came up, and I just put it on, and I just was like, do you know what? I'll just listen to this while I'll just do some mundane task. And I was just listening in and thinking, fucking hell. I remember when deathcore used to be at this level where it just felt so gnarly and dark and just so basement-like, because it literally was basement-like. But you had so many bands that sounded exactly the same. It got to the point of where people were getting sick to death of deathcore.
Saturation.
Because of the saturation. And it was just literally every band was ripping off the same riff, breakdown, gutturals, pig squeals, everything. But the thing is that you can't patent or copyright against that.
No.
And I think it's exactly the same in the world of FPL. You've got X, Y, and Z channels which are podcasts, but usually YouTube channels that are very successful at what they do. And one of the main things on YouTube, which you're fully aware of, is clickbait thumbnails. And there's an equation to it. It's as you know, it's like me and Alex Volo taking the piss with our thumbnails now, where it's bright blue.
Can I just take this opportunity to thank Alex, because I've not got enough money to pay for thumbnails, but he has given me much advice in creating my new thumbnails this week. So I'd just like to say thank you very much, Alex, for your kind and generous help. So.
That's very good to hear. He's a great lad.
Yeah.
So there's a formula behind the thumbnails that work, and of course, anybody is just going to copy anybody that's successful. It just happens in the whole grand scheme of things. But
they didn't even take the other channel's logo out of it. I think that's kind of because that's the second thing I was. That's the second thing.
I can't comment on that. That just sounds ridiculous, to be honest.
It is. Yeah, I think that's why. Because the other thing is, which is related, is I know you're not on Blue Sky, are you, Steve-O? But Trigger Lips posted a something on Blue Sky yesterday, which was basically the 10 of the content creators, the major content creators, were now talking about videos thumbnails this week, and they were all pretty much identical. They weren't all identical, but they were very, very similar. Very similar color scheme, wording, where the wording was placed, etc., was very similar, and just basically saying it was boring. And it was interesting actually when I interviewed Above Average. Adam from Above Average, he said that they go out of their way to make their thumbnails like more reflective of Tottenham. So it's actually more reflective of who they are rather than just going with the generic FPL type colours.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. So it was interesting. It was interesting. I mean, you could really tell I'm becoming a YouTube nerd when I start spending half my life
being a YouTube nerd. I just think it's damn.
It's part of the game, I guess, isn't it? Or the content creation game sort of thing.
Yeah, like I state, it's just like any market. They're going to copy anything that's successful. It's just a simple fact. I'll give you a very, 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 very simple example. In this country alone, what do all the big retail shops do now? Let's copy Lidl and Aldi at their prices. So with 4-pint milk, for instance, I went into Marks and Spencer's today, and it says, "This is great value, £1.45 for 4-pint blue milk." Well, it doesn't really matter what it was, but in this case, whole milk, because Lidl sell it for £1.45 rather than £2.20. So Marks and Spencer have followed that category, but guess which other shops have followed that same thing? Tesco, Sainsbury's. And of course, they do all these adverts, which is about we're going to match Aldi prices. Now, admittedly, it's not. It's more to do with their own brand stuff rather than branded. But with milk specifically, it's just all copycat, and there's nothing you can do about it. In the world of, like I said, in the world of FPL, for me personally,
Marks and Spencer's and the shops like that, they wouldn't copy it, would they? Because they're like, posher, more upmarket sort of things, aren't they?
Well, yeah, they are. I mean, they are very expensive. And I mean, I bought some chicken skinless, boneless thighs today for £6. And the only difference between them and Lidl is a 44p price difference, and they're just smaller. That's it. So I'll definitely be, and obviously they look more better prepared, shall we say? But certainly, truth be told, there's no difference in taste. It's a chicken thigh at the end of the day, but just going back to the FPL stuff.
Yeah, games are back on, are they?
For me,
so the FPL thumbnail type stuff.
Yeah. For me, the truth of the matter is that everybody's going to copy everybody. Every single brand new FPL content creator that chooses to start up is exactly the same. They're all like, it's all just copy and paste. I mean, Combs jokingly saying there, Evan Nilsson is probably going to be the face of every single thumbnail next week. No, it won't be. It'll be Haaland. It's going to be Haaland and Marmoush, but most likely it's going to be Haaland. And the thing is like, I always encourage Alex to kind of just do whatever he wants with our thumbnails. I'd rather him be more creative in the sense of just literally taking the piss out of something that's happening in the world of football. But obviously he chooses to go down, like with the thumbnail today, it's just Sarr. Because remember, he's captain Sarr this game week. On for 3 points. But
I liked, because I've been studying your thumbnails a bit. I've been studying various thumbnails that Alex has sort of pointed me towards. I like your one last week from your one with Ray, where it looks like Palmer's like got a little tear under his eye.
But the best one he did so far was the watch along, Game Week 27 midweek watch along with all your faces on. Well, I know you weren't in it, but I thought that was absolutely magical, and I personally encourage people when it comes to any form, whether it's yourself, Gary, or whomever, is just be unique and different. Don't follow the sheep, because when you're unique and different and just being you, you're always going to be content with whatever you do. Yes, we all get like it where, why are these people getting more views than me, likes than me, blah, 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 blah. I get that. I'm not blind to it. But if you're doing something which is just copy and paste, from so-and-so, you're going to get more angry or upset because, but they're using the same thing and the same profiles and same stats and everything that I am. Why aren't I getting the same views as them when it's exactly the same? And it's same, like I said, in the world of music. It's every band just copies the same formula that's popular at the time. And there's only a few that will come out of it successful. And I think in the world of FPL, where quite literally everything's objective, this is all based on stats. I remember Steve actually saying to me once about the fact that, because he doesn't play FPL, he couldn't care less about football, let alone FPL. He was making the point about, because obviously I speak to him about this channel and whatnot. And he says, so let me get this straight. This game that you play is just essentially based on stats. And I went, yeah. So let me get this straight as well. Any form of content is just someone presenting to the audience the stats that are given to you on a piece of paper or online. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And yes, there are, of course, ways in which certain presenters can literally present that information in a way which may be a bit entertaining, but overall it's just the same copy and paste. And that's why I'm surprised, Gary, because you don't agree with me, but well, you agree with me in the sense of where I'm coming from, but why these content creators don't do these watch-alongs. But the truth of the...
Well, we'd get less views, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, I guess because you have to have the ability, and I'm going to compliment both of us here in a sense, you have to have the ability to talk absolute twaddle, to use your favourite word at the minute, whilst nothing's really going on like it is pretty much today, apart from Southampton score. You know what I mean? You've got to be able to fill in the time with at least semi-interesting conversation. I don't know. I mean, hopefully some people gain something from listening to it. You know what I mean? And I'm not sure a lot of FPL... Well, I wouldn't even say that a lot of FPL content creators couldn't do that, but perhaps I'm sure some of them probably couldn't, but perhaps wouldn't want to risk talking about the sort of things we're talking about, like, I don't know, thumbnails and things being similar. You know what I mean? FPL channels being similar. You probably wouldn't get that on most FPL. You know, I guess Juice might talk about that sort of thing, but most people aren't going to talk about that sort of thing, are they?
But I was saying, due to the attention span of most of their audiences, it's more appealing to watch a quick 10-minute video about some chip strategy or game week rather than a review or previous show. For example, for the majority, it's just, like I state, with this specific channel, it's about, I mean, it's lost its way, I'm not going to lie, because obviously Jason's been very, very, very busy and life circumstances have got in the way to the point of where he's essentially unable to stream. So I'm struggling to Ray can't stream for the next 4 weeks due to Ramadan, for example. So I'm kind of...
Ramadan, yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of... Hold on.
We've got something.
Sorry, there's nothing happening. It's just the fact that they're saying that Liverpool have made a rapid start. There's no real...
Harvey Elliott.
Three. Hold on. Oh no, wait a minute, sorry. I thought Elliott had just scored. But Shimikas, Szoboszlai and Jones have come off for Elliott, Robertson and McAllister.
Okay.
So
nothing really affects FPL there, is it?
I mean, it's still 1-0 to Southampton.
Actually, Southampton, I'm just looking, they had Bednarak, their captain, the central defender, went off injured after 19 minutes, it looks like.
Yeah, that's bad injury.
Worse for Liverpool. That makes it even worse for Liverpool, the fact they're losing 1-0, doesn't it?
No, that's exactly it. Bilal's saying, have you considered different types of content, i.e. YouTube Shorts? Mate, I'm a full-time working man. I have zero interest in doing YouTube Shorts. I detest anything. I try to avoid technology as much as I can, and even doing poxy TikTok uploads about the fact we're going live drives me up the wall.
The problem with shorts is they have to be in a completely different video format. They have to be like like your mobile phone screen, don't you? Like I put one up when the channel was quite small of them calling me out on FPL Black Box, and I basically had to get it up on my screen and record it on my mobile phone. I'm sure there's an easier way to do it than that. For like a 30-second clip, and I'm not bloody doing that again.
Yeah, it's for me. I tried to do shorts, but for whatever bloody reason, my phone just would not record anything. And it was, honestly, I could have thrown my phone through the window. I was getting so frustrated with the fact that all I wanted to do was just record. Hold on, goal, Brighton. It's offside. Matoma, but Brighton had put the ball in the back of the net, but Matoma offside. In fact, on a minute here. Whoa. What is going on here? On a minute. Whoa. Either TalkSport is really far behind. I've got some breaking news potentially here. We got a goal, Liverpool. Liverpool have scored.
Salah.
I think it is Salah.
Come on.
No, it's not. It's Nunes. Nunes has scored. Nunes has scored.
Yeah, it's just come up. Have you ever owned him in FPL? I've never.
Probably last year.
I've never gone there. He's such a frustrating.
Well, I won 50. I've won money on that. Good God, Nunes.
Yeah.
Who would have thought it? Listen to these games, though, Gary. 1-1, 1-1, 0-0. Jeez, I need to be on William Hill now to hopefully get Crystal Palace to score, Liverpool to score, and then I'm going to cash out so long as Brighton and Fulham stay as they are. That's what I kind of need to do, but yeah. Hold on. Liverpool have got a penalty. Penalty to Liverpool.
Oh, come on.
Nunes has gone down.
Nunes has
gone down. It is now a... Ironically, it's Will Smallbone that fouled Nunes.
Smallbone. I love that name.
I don't even...
It's got to be Salah taking the penalty then, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Salah will be taking the penalty.
What do you reckon Palmer will get tomorrow, or whenever they're playing? Yeah, it's tomorrow. Isn't it?
I think a minimum of a goal. Sorry, a minimum of an assist against Leicester. But it's definitely a penalty. Salah will be. So Nunes has scored one, won a penalty. Now I have to be a gambling addict, Gary, and hopefully Crystal Palace score, and then I can cash out. Because once Crystal Palace score, then I've got all three, for now, all three outcomes correct.
If you cash out, I assume, because as you know, I don't particularly bet. Does that mean you get less of a payout?
Yeah. So for argument's sake, if the full bet was to give me £4, I'd only be able to get £1, give or take, depending on how further down the line that you are. But
yeah, there's quite a bit of loss then. I mean, comparatively to before.
Here we go. Andrew Fo's saying it's a Diaz assist. Well, if that's the case, then a goal. Salah scored.
Come on.
Ramsdale nearly could have saved it. Nearly. But it is 2-1 to Liverpool, as expected. So now it's a case of will Slot make any changes and contain the match now with PSG coming up. But
do you know what I'm gonna have a look at FPL Live Rank and see what they're affecting.
Oh dear, Gary.
Well,
just saying here, will celebrate record for most FPL points in a season today. Bloody hell. Well, the answer
what is the record?
Yes. Let's have a look.
It's early. It's 310, 320 something.
Let's have a quick look. Liverpool's home match against Southampton. Salah sits on 290 points, which is already the third highest ever in a whole season of fantasy. Only Luis Suarez and Salah himself produced more points. Suarez racked up 295. So basically, yes, Burnley are winning 3-0.
Oh, see if you can guess what Salah and Palmer's effective ownership is, Steve.
I actually saw it today. Isn't Salah 194, Palmer 100?
Yeah, 100. Yeah, I can't believe that. I mean, that basically means everyone's captain Salah, pretty much, doesn't it?
It was the safety pick. It's just a simple fact.
I know, but I thought it would be a bit more. I mean, I expected Salah to be ahead, but I didn't expect him to be that far ahead. Do you know what I mean? I thought a few more people would have gone for Palmer.
Well, in answer to
it does
about the amount of points scored in a season. So Salah at the moment is on 291. Now he's going to be on 296, 97, 98, 99, 100 if he gets 2 bonus points for argument's sake, or even 3 bonus points. So he's only going to be a couple of points behind his own, which is 303. 295 for Suarez, 284 for Lampard, 283 for Ronaldo. So, yeah.
How much has he got to score then?
Absolute
How many more points? How many more points have you got to get then? Like 10, 20?
No, only an extra. Well, basically an assist.
Oh,
an assist, and he's going to break it today.
Bloody hell. Yeah. It has been. I remember when Haaland went off, when his first season. Do you reckon this would be, and he broke the goal scoring record, 36 goals?
Yeah.
Do you reckon this would be a better season for Salah? I mean, obviously he's not going to break the goal scoring record, but in terms of overall,
I think absolutely, yeah. He's just every single week he's getting him anything.
Yeah.
Absolutely anything with Salah. It's disgusting.
Yeah. From a football perspective as well as an FPL perspective, you'd say that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. The fact that Liverpool are almost certainly going to be winning the Premier League, and then Champions League, the way they're performing, he should easily be winning the Ballon d'Or next year. What he's done for Liverpool this year.
It's crazy they haven't even. They've not given him a new contract yet, have they?
Yeah.
Or they want to Trent or Van Dijk.
I think it's the amount of money that they have to pay. I don't know much about it, to be honest with you, but I've deliberately. Hold on.
He's not young.
Hold on.
He's not young, is he?
Hold on. Oh, Ipswich nearly scored.
Okay.
Only just got the ball away, Crystal Palace.
There's quite a few people have Munoz, don't
there? Zeitgall's saying it, please take off the king slot. It makes sense.
Please take off the what?
Only Ramsdale getting treatment at the moment.
Okay.
I mean, Seda's stuff is saying it might get bad for us Palmer captors.
Might. You take a goal. You take a goal, wouldn't you? Yeah.
You take a Liverpool win, Salah to get a goal, 2 bonus points, done. We move on.
Yeah.
At the moment,
he's on 8. He's on 8 at the minute. So what would that be? 1.
Yeah, no, Nunes is on 3.
Yeah.
And, make sure anybody watching this right now, please make sure you are hitting the like button. It always does show your appreciation for the fact that we're streaming today. And of course, any Salah captainers out there, why not hit the like button? Be a lot of fun. But certainly today, Gary, I mean, it's apart from Salah, again, no real effects on FPL, apart from the fact that you've got Jimenez, which is a good differential today for you. And
yeah, he's on 8 as well.
So you're actually, to be fair, you've done quite well today so far.
Well, Salah, but I mean, effectively, I just checked my rank after FPL Live rank updated, and I have not. Salah's goals made absolutely no difference to me because he's 100% owned.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, 200% owned. So, I mean, it's probably going to have affected your rank quite a bit, but I mean, it hasn't really boosted my rank at all. But yeah, the Jimenez goal was nice.
Crystal Palace keeping a clean sheet's going to be annoying, but I expected it.
Yeah, it's a strange position to be in when, there's this whole thing about Salah Palmer and I've captained Salah and he scores and it still doesn't increase your rank. It's I mean, I guess there probably was a very, 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 very small increase, but essentially, nothing. Yeah, I'd be quite happy if it stayed like this and I was a Palmer owner. I would be going into tomorrow. I wouldn't necessarily.
You asked a minute ago about cash out, so I did a bet for Mohamed Salah to score and Liverpool to win, 50p. My return would have been 18p if I was to cash out. Hold on. Martinez is not playing for Aston Villa today.
Okay.
So if I was to cash out right now, I would get, rather than 18p, 15p. Just to give you an example of...
That Brentford game is quite important for me and you. But we've both got Embrimo and Visser.
Well, I'm in desperate need of Visser and Visser to do something today. And also listening out for how Asensio plays today.
Asensio? What are you thinking about getting him in?
He's performing very well for Aston Villa.
He was always a player I'd always sign on Football Manager when he was at Real Madrid. He was always like one of the wonder kids who was supposed to go on to do great things. I mean, he's had an all right career, but Football Manager had him like pegged to be, I don't know, the next Messi or something, which he wasn't.
Well, we've got, half an hour to go, give or take, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
30 minutes before 5 to 5. Then
I wonder why he's not playing, because he's did really well. He's done really well so far, hasn't he?
Asensio not even in the squad, according to Bilal.
Oh, yeah. Rashford bench.
God knows. God knows.
I guess maybe they're prioritising Champions League, maybe.
Possibly, but they're 3-1 up. They're 3-1 up.
Yeah. Watkins is playing as well.
Just frustrating. Let's just quickly look through the Patreon league, funny enough. I just want to quickly, I haven't looked at it for a while, actually. So Andrew Ferguson...
Am I in the Patreon league yet, Stephen?
No, because you signed up way too late.
Yeah.
So...
Excuses.
Andrew Ferguson at the moment, 24 points, but he did take a -4. Players doing well for him, Salah captain, and Munoz. In fact, he's had Wood, Salah, Trent and Munoz playing right now. And then Harbour Boys move, bloody hell, it's tight. 1 point behind Andrew. 25 points. He had Sells today. He's got Salah captain. Any other differentials? Bloody hell. He's got Beto tonight. Still got Isaac. Bloody hell. Isaac, remember him? And Graham Buchanan, who was doing so well. In third, 20 points. Anya. Any differentials? Not really. He's got Strand Larson. How much is he? How much is Strand? 5.2. Oh, with Cunha out. Yeah. Stabs authority. And then Matthew Zaishi. Bloody hell. 22.24 points. He's not going... Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Matthew Zaishi doesn't have a goalkeeper this week. Doesn't have a goalkeeper. I
can't remember
Alexander-Arnold coming close.
Yeah. I can't remember my last time my goalkeeper did anything.
Say that again.
I can't remember the last time my goalkeeper did anything.
I've had Flecken for God knows how long. He ain't going to be doing anything tonight. I mean, Matthew Zaishi, he's had a Matoma goal ruled out through offside. He's got him. He's not got Gakpo, but he's got Beto coming off. He's got Fernandez for next week.
I was going to ask you something, Steve.
Go for it.
Are you taking up permanent resident on FPL Juice now? Because you're only getting this week, aren't you?
That's just by pure. It's just by pure fortuitous circumstances. The only reason I'm on this week is because Ash isn't on, and I'm in the area. Well, not the area, you know what I mean. I'm in London until Wednesday,
actually,
basically. So I just said to Nick, "Do you mind if I come in?" And he went, "To be honest with you, yeah, just come in, and that's it done." I know they want me on there permanently, but obviously it's literally impossible for me to, because I work on Tuesday, so I'd go every week if I could. I've told them a lot of the time though that even if they didn't want me on air, I'll just sit behind the scenes and just watch what was going on. Because obviously you've been on there, and it's a setup which is pretty much just a case of once you get there, you're made to feel comfortable, wait for everybody to turn up, and it's just like, right, what we're doing, okay, let's go. And move on.
Yeah, we talked about when I interviewed Nick.
Sorry, Robinson has got a fucking yellow card. What a surprise.
Yeah, when I interviewed Nick, we were talking about like how people, it's just like mates meeting up and having a beer or not having a beer, but just shooting a breeze, as they say. And that's exactly what it is. It's for me. It's what, an hour at most, an hour drive, and that's at most. And like you stated, Minter, João Pedro crossing in. Good luck. I messaged Ash last night actually to see if I can get him on the
amazing
series. Not quite yet, but hopefully get him.
Will we be getting any Ash impressions? Yeah, as he says, as I did on the thing. That's all he does.
He always calls me Gaz whenever he messages me.
Or he does the because as I state, Ash is just Booker T. I watched his I don't know if you remember a couple of weeks ago when they were doing top 3 comedy films, and he mentioned a film called Friday. So I put it on. Put it on, and it didn't. I watched the first 20 minutes, and I just thought, this just does nothing for me at all. Have you ever seen the film Friday?
No, I'm not a big fan of comedy films, to be honest. I love comedies, but
really, why is that?
I don't know. There's just something about film and comedy which just doesn't quite mold together for me. Like, I don't know. I don't know if it's because you're not really invested in the characters as much as you would be in like a sitcom or something more long running. Do you know what I mean? I can't think of many films that have ever actually like had me rolling over. Because when I was watching your one, I watched that episode and I thought, I basically disagreed with a lot of the choices, but then I kind of thought, well, what would your choices be, Gary? And I couldn't think of any, just because I don't think.
Really? I was gutted Dumb and Dumber wasn't put in it. Dumb and Dumber is just fantastic.
I couldn't stand Dumb and Dumb. The only film that sort of made me laugh, I can vaguely remember, was There's Something About Mary. That.
Oh right, yeah.
I think that was just because I was a teenager and there was like jokes about the woman using cum to comb her hair or whatever. You know what I mean? But it wasn't really funny. I mean, I can't really think of anything that really. What were your ones?
A 40-Year-Old Virgin, but Ash took that, so it was Team America, Superbad, and American Pie 2. But Dumb and Dumber, I can't believe I forgot about that.
I think there are a couple of Futurama movies that made me laugh quite a bit. I quite like that. But that's more because I knew the characters again.
Futurama?
Yeah, I think it was Futurama movies.
Futurama's
South Park movies. South Park movies quite funny as well.
Jonathan Mahoney saying Death at a Funeral is funny. I've never even heard of it. Superbad, yeah, Superbad is just absolutely outstanding.
What's that one about? Is that about like teenagers?
It's basically just 3 teenage boys that want to get alcohol for a party for a girl that one of the main characters likes, and then one of the girls within the show likes Seth. No, not Seth. Evan. Yeah, Evan. That's played by Michael Cera. And you've got obviously the guy that plays McLovin, who the joke is the fact that he got fake ID. And
Seth Rogen's in it. Okay, yeah, sorry, man.
Seth Rogen's very good in that film, actually.
Yeah,
along with his other mate. I forget, he's part of South Park. But them two together is very, very funny. The film itself is very, very enjoyable.
I've had that on my list to watch for a while, but I've just never got around to watching it.
Netflix.
Yeah, I've heard the film.
I was trying to watch last night the film with Clint Eastwood, Escape from Alcatraz. I just couldn't. It just did nothing for me. I couldn't get.
It's not comedy, is it?
Liverpool coming close there. Pineapple Express did nothing for me. I had to turn it off. Just did nothing for me. Same as what was the other one that guy is in? I forget now, but it's funny how, I mean, I'm stating the bloody obvious, how sometimes films can have a similar style of humour, but I won't like one, but I'll like the other. But I think half the time though it's down to the story. Wasn't Pineapple Express? It is very.
They're often very teenage humour. You know what I mean? I think that's one of the reasons why I liked some of them when I was a teenager, but I'm not. I don't really. Just looking at the best ones ever. Shaun of the Dead, that vampire.
It's all right.
It was all right.
It's not this. I don't understand with Shaun of the Dead why everybody's like, "Oh my god, it's amazing! It's so quotable. It's just okay." It's the same as what's the follow up to it? The one where the police. I forget what it's called now. They're both police officers.
Oh yeah.
Just cack. Just did absolutely nothing for me. The only funny thing in that was Steve Merchant's cameo appearance in it.
What did you think of Sacha Baron Cohen's one? He had an Ali G movie. The Borat movie made me laugh a bit.
I've never seen Borat. I've seen loads of clips, but never seen it. I know, isn't it Az loves the Ali G film? I mean, I can't. Ali G did nothing for me.
Yeah, he said on the video I did with him, Ali G's the greatest movie of all time. I should have followed up with him on that.
Yeah, I never really got into Ali G. I think because Ali.
I loved Ali G. I think
because Ali G came out at a similar time as Phone Jacker and Face Jacker, which I think is a piece of genius.
Brilliant. I used to actually, I'll reveal my personality. That was in about the early 2000s.
Yes.
And I'd withhold my number, make a call. Good evening, madam. What was it? Am I speaking to the owner of the house? My name is George Akakwango. So and people actually used to believe it until I tried it for like the 50th time. He was hilarious. I think
for me, I was just thinking this just now, like comedy that I like, it's literally just toilet humour. Like for instance, I was a massive fan of Bo Selector. I think it's absolutely hilarious.
My mum really used to love that. My mum used to love it. I like the Michael Jackson he used to do, the Michael Jackson impersonation. Internet providers. Someone just written in the chat, internet. Do you remember that one? That was on phone.
Which one's that, sorry?
Internet providings. He'd phone up.
The Indian bloke that he's trying to.
Yeah. I'm going to Google it and then I'll do it.
Do you know the funny thing is he nails that impression to perfection.
He's an amazing impersonator. Yeah. Whatever happened to him? I don't think I've ever seen.
He did an interview actually, and he pretty much is that archetypal person of, do I sell my soul or do I stick to my art? And he just stuck to his art and he just never made it. I think he did he did that film 4 Lions, which again I couldn't get into. I just thought nothing of it. And then recently there was something he was in. I was just like, I can't believe that guy is in it, and I forget what his real name is. But he is a very, very, very talented actor / comedian. But he just unfortunately just never went any further than, well, apart from, if you could argue, 4 Lions, but that really didn't do anything for his career. And I'm just trying to think. I can easily Google this, to be honest with you. on. How the hell have I forgot his name? It's just really annoying. So his name is Kayvan Novak. That's it.
Okay.
That's his bloody name. So let's just quickly see what he's up to these days. But I know that I've seen him in something. No, nothing. No, he's not really been in anything which he's been Phone Shop, of course he was.
What was that?
Phone Shop?
Yeah.
You don't know what Phone Shop?
That was Ash's favourite.
That's one of Ash's, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that one.
Yeah, you won't like it. I mean, I can't stand it. Yeah, is
that an older one or?
He's a very, very, like I said, he's a very talented actor. But I'm looking at all these things that he's been in, and I barely recognise any of it, apart from the likes of Phone Jacker, Face Jacker, 4 Lines. But he's only 46.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the internet providing script, and I can't bloody find it anywhere. It's really annoying me.
Just to let people know, there's literally nothing going on in the football. It's a typical Elite FPL 3 p.m. kickoff.
Me looking for Phone Jacker quotes, and you did what you're doing.
Trigger Happy TV. I watched it recently, actually, and some of the sketches are very good.
One with the guy with the giant phone. That's about what main thing.
Yeah.
And do you remember he used to? There was a thing where he pretended they were 2 spies.
Yes.
He'd have like a suitcase, and then he'd be like, "The secret lion will cross the." You know what I mean? And then, yeah, it was very. It's a lot of the comedy in the 2000s and 90s was quite surreal and different.
Well, it was pranking, wasn't it?
Yeah, I know. It doesn't. You don't really get it that.
Well, you can't because it's all on phones. That's the problem. And because I was watching, someone's uploaded all the episodes of Beadle's About. I was in stitches. I can't believe how far they actually took that show for the people that were involved with it. Like, they genuinely got into physical altercations. And if anybody wants to have a laugh, go out your way on YouTube and watch Beadle's
Wasn't there
About.
one where they pretended that they crushed the guy's van, and then the guy literally turned into a psycho and
yeah. Goal at Crystal Palace. It's 1-0. Will Ismail Sarr? It is. Sarr has scored, Alex Follow.
Oh, wow.
Ismail Sarr has scored. Alex Follow, if you're listening, which he's not, but he's scored. He's done it. I'm now gonna cash out. I'm gonna quickly cash out on my bet. Don't bother gambling responsibly.
I mean,
right, I'm gonna cash out on that, so I can make. So either cash out £1.51 to make a £1 1 penny profit, Gary, or leave it and hope that Brighton and Fulham draw. I think I'm going to cash out.
What would you make if you don't cash out?
What will I make if I don't cash out? £2.96.
I'd leave it. It's only 5 minutes.
Well, I'm going to cash out on this one because I'll be 20p. I'm only missing out on 20p. So Ismail Sarr to score and Crystal Palace to win. I'll make a £1 5p profit. So I'll cash out on that. Yeah, confirm the cash out on that. And then I will Ismail Sarr. Yeah, I've won on that.
I wonder how what is Alex's selection process is the captain. Does he just like
he in all seriousness, he looks at a lot of not just stats but how teams play against one another and works out who's got the weakest side and who Saar is up against and whatnot. So it's
Like
an incredible
real,
process. It
like
really is an incredible process.
Detailed FPL manager, unlike us.
The only part I thought funny, Andrew was saying on Trigger Happy TV, was when there was a car in a traffic jam and he went up to say you can't park there. Yes, it's very simple, basic humour. I always think about the one where somebody lies in the road at a zebra crossing. I just think about because people do that nowadays. It's, to be honest, it's pathetic. To be honest with you, but
he's another one. I don't know what happened to him. What's his name? Don.
He does like interviews now and comedy panel shows, but in theatre and whatnot. So, where Alex Vollo is in the. Where would Alex Vollo be in the YouTube chat league? Alex, if you're listening, or does anybody know where Alex is within the YouTube? I should really be adding him in the moderator league, actually, considering he probably does more than most of the moderators anyway. So
I might at some stage. Alex might come on for an interview. He said.
Oh, brilliant!
He said he'd be up for it, but he's got to find the time. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting.
His circumstances aren't like most.
No, yeah. But yeah, definitely be interesting to get a chat to him.
So, oh dear, Mo Salah missing an open goal. Where's Alex Follow? Come on.
I'll ask you something, Steve. Someone recommended another person I have on is Andy Martin.
Oh, right, yeah, very nice guy, Andy, yeah.
You've had him on here, haven't you?
Yeah, he's been on this several times. He's a really, really nice bloke.
I'd never heard of him until I was on Twitter. Like, what? How is he's not a YouTuber, is he?
No, but he's got a prominent presence on X. He's very He's very, very, very knowledgeable when it comes to FPL. Very knowledgeable.
He's a bit of a character, I've been told as well.
Yeah, he's a really, like I said, he's a really, really nice guy.
Yeah,
and he likes to wind up a lot of people, shall we say? Not in a way which is negative, but he just likes to put his ideas out there, and he's normally right, to be honest with you. And some of these ideas are quite controversial to the norm. A bit like with Alex Vollo, actually, to be honest with you. It's he goes for differential picks if and when necessary, and you know, when most people, for argument's sake, are going against Salah, he will. Dinger had just scored, but it's offside.
Okay.
And that's the reason why I think I'm going to cash out. Well, wait a minute, cash out suspended. Oh, what? I can't even cash out now. What?
You might get more money from doing it.
No, I can't cash out. So I've missed my opportunity to cash out on that bloody. What?
I'm feeling a little bit.
Yeah, get Andy Martin on. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit underwhelmed with this Salah captaincy.
Why?
I don't know. Just one goal. I mean, how is he doing in the bonus points? People, let us know in the chat if you captain Salah. Are you happy with just one goal? I don't know. I mean, think logically, Steve, you'd have put him down to get more than that against Southampton. I mean, and he's gonna be on for 90 minutes as well because they've made all 5 of their subs now.
Let's put that as a poll. I mean, I don't want to jinx this, but are you happy?
Well, the fact you're happy as a Palmer captainer.
But Palmer hasn't done anything yet.
No, I know, but the fact you're happy with Salah's score suggests that Salah captainers probably shouldn't be that happy with just one return. I don't know.
But to put the poll up, it's quite simple. Are you happy with Salah goal? Bilal says yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw this, Andrew Ferguson. I saw this the other day. I thought it was a joke. Mike Dean discusses the new rule from next season, which will see goalkeepers, if they hold the ball for more than 8 seconds, they'll concede a corner.
What? Actually,
according to Seda's stuff, there's a VAR check for a potential Liverpool fucking penalty. I hope not.
Oh, come on. If he gets 2 goals, if he gets another goal, I would be definitely happy.
It's when it's...
As we discussed earlier, at 200% ownership, it doesn't really... It's more protecting it yourself, protecting us Salah captainers against the Palmer captainers, because we're not really gaining anything from it today.
Hold on. It is 3-1. Hold on. No, wait a minute. It looks like it is going to be a penalty.
Come on.
It looks like it's going to be a penalty. Diaz winning it. It's as clear as day, as they're saying. It is going to be a penalty.
Come on, Salah. I mean, it doesn't do that much for us who've got him, but for you guys who haven't got him, I mean, we'll see if he scores. It's going to hurt.
Handball. Sugarara. Who?
They've got some great names. Sugarara, Small Bone,
Bednarak, Ramsdale. Yep, Salah's stepping up.
Come on, Salah.
So he's gonna. It'd be 31 goals in all competitions. As he's about to step up and score.
Will it take him above? It might take him above the record as well, won't it?
It will take him above the record. 100%.
We're witnessing FPL history, Steve-o.
Go. Go.
LOL.
It's the hope.
Chances LOL power captain is.
It's the hope, isn't it?
Yeah. I think the poll's out of date now all of a sudden as Ballard.
Yeah. I've just cashed out on the accumulator as well.
Okay.
£2.26 rather than £2.96 because it sounds like Brighton are going to do all right.
Apparently, Adingra had a disallowed goal about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So what's he going to be on? Presumably, he gets 4, 10, 12, 15. He'll be on now, will he?
2 goals. 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, yeah. So
I'm assuming he's going to get 3 bonus.
Yeah, he will be getting 3 bonus.
Yeah, so 15. I can't see Palmer beating that. I mean...
Well, the upside is that number 1 in the YouTube chat league didn't captain him. That's the only hope that we've got now.
Who did he captain?
And what a surprise! The history coming through again.
What was your prediction?
This is now 5 times out of the last 6 where there's been 3 or more goals scored by a team. That's extraordinary. And even with Crystal Palace Ipswich, if it ends to 0, that's another game. That'll be 4 times out of the last 7 where a team has won to 0. That's now 6 times out of the last 7 Crystal Palace have beaten Ipswich. Fulham, they're now unbeaten. If it ends 1-1, they're now unbeaten in 7 against Brighton.
Shall I tell you how close it is up there, Steve-o? Last game week, I think it was last game week, on Saturday night, my rank had gone down to 190,000.
Right.
And by Sunday, I was back up to 400,000. So I'll just say for any Palmer captainers, think of that, by tomorrow you could be... Palmer gets a hat-trick, you know what I mean? You're laughing.
Yeah.
You don't know until the game week's over, really, do you?
Well, it's now...
It's not looking good at the minute, also.
Hopefully, Palmer tomorrow comes through with a double digit. At least I've got Salah, that's the main thing. The fact that people, like I said, are actually selling him. Thinking of selling him. It's just, again, I just think it's absolute madness. I get the reason as to why, but
if he'd blanked today, maybe the. But then again, if they were thinking about it beforehand, then I guess 2 goals against Southampton is not going to change their mind, is it? Because he's been doing it all season. I'm definitely going to have. What do you think's preferable, Steve-O? Selling Salah to get Haaland in for no hits, which I can do, or keeping Salah but a 4-point hit because I'd have to take an extra transfer then.
But it means, how do you get him back in? You're losing what? How much money are you losing out on him? 0.6 ish.
Yeah.
I think
a -4. So if I do the -4, I'll still be able to get Haaland, but I'll be able to keep Salah.
Yeah, that's what I'm almost certainly going to be doing it. Keeping Salah and just getting rid of Palmer. But look,
and I mean, -4. I think you're right.
Truth of the matter is that tomorrow, look, Chelsea could win 4-0 and Palmer gets 3 attacking returns.
Yeah.
Hold on. Oh, Brighton have got a penalty.
Oh.
And it's your mate Anderson giving away a penalty.
As long as he didn't take the penalty and score against his own side, I'll be happy.
Unbelievable. Anderson has just given away a bloody penalty, and now that's going to mean that Robinson is going to be on 0.
0? Oh, because he got booked.
João Pedro is going to be taken. He even won the penalty. Unbelievable. Well, I'm glad I cashed out.
He's been a real troll this season for me. João Pedro. Like every time I have him in, he does nothing, and then I get rid of him. I got rid of him a couple of weeks ago for Cunha, and and then he's back on it again. So
Gravy Dave. People are only thinking about taking out Salah because of Ben Crellin is doing it, and this is, well, it's not just him. There's a few others that are prominent in the FPL community, which people just follow.
And let's look at FPL Andy's talking about potentially doing it, isn't he?
Yeah, but I'm sure Harry has. I know Trigger Lips has. Raptor probably will. Mate probably will. Then all these people will just copy them, and like I said, it's not about. Half the time, it's never about actually. Yeah, exactly. Taking out a player on record for breaking FPL form. Exactly. This is why I wouldn't be doing it. Pedro is taking the penalty. Here he goes. It's a goal. 2-1. 2-1 Brighton. Thank God I cashed out.
Yeah. Thank God you didn't take my advice.
Well, I could hear on the radio Brighton were pretty much all over Fulham. Well, it was a last-minute penalty for crying out loud.
They're very up and down, Brighton, this season, aren't they? They can be very good on their day, but then they've got do you know, I interviewed Mark Southerns last week. The thing, so sometimes I wonder whether the rivalries are as big behind the scenes as not just with Black Box as you imagine. And he was so desperate because we did the interview during the FA Cup draw, and he'd asked, who's the girl that hosts the Premier League show? Kelly
Summers.
Yeah. He'd said Kelly Summers, she was doing the draw. He said, please make sure Nottingham Forest draw Brighton, because obviously Az supports Brighton. And then afterwards, Kelly Summers had texted him and said that they'd drawn each other, and he was so excited. Do you know what I mean? And it's just like seeing that, seeing how real those rivalries and stuff are. You know what I mean? But obviously the rivalry being between him and Az, because they beaten 7-0, didn't they?
Yeah.
I think it was
Yeah.
6-0 a few weeks ago. So yeah, that was quite interesting to see. But yeah, there's not much movement then from today, is there? I guess unless you didn't captain Salah, but in which case it's going to be.
If like I said, if Palmer comes through tomorrow with a goal and assist and 3 bonus, then what's that? And let's say a clean sheet as well. It's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's 1 point less than. I'll take that now. I'll take 1 point, like 14 points instead of 15. I'll take that as almost a win in a way, because at least they virtually match one another. And that's the end of the match. Brighton winning 3-1. I'm pretty certain that all the other matches have ended. They bloody better well have.
Brighton, 11 minutes have added on time.
How long?
11 minutes, it says on BBC Sport.
What, for Liverpool?
No, the Brighton one. Liverpool.
No, it's ended. It's ended, Brighton.
Oh, yeah.
Burnley won 4-0. Huh.
Okay.
TalkSport have really not been on it today. They've really not been on it today.
No. Where are Burnley in the table? Are they still third?
Yeah, because Sheffield United won today, I believe. Let's have a quick check. I'm pretty certain Sheffield United ironically 1-0 beating Preston. The team we couldn't beat.
When I interviewed FPL Pricey, I mentioned to him about you saying, in a way, you'd like there to be a option if you get promoted to say we don't want to go up because you don't want to see Burnley just get thrashed again in the Premier League next season. Because he was similar as a Southampton fan. Yeah,
I heard him say that, and he made a very valid point, which is true. Is that the truth of the matter is that all they care about is the money going up, which is true.
Yeah. Do you honestly mean that? Would you honestly prefer to stay in the Championship?
Yeah. If you were to offer Burnley, for argument's sake, if you were to be offered, but then that's the end of the game. I'm pretty.
What are you doing?
Yeah, it's the end of the game. 3-1. I can turn that off. Go on, Gary.
What are you gaining then from winning the Championship or finishing third if you don't go up?
The fact that we actually enjoy, well, not me personally as a fan, but we're able to travel all over the bloody country rather than just being every week going to London for starters. It's the fact that you actually get to see different styles of football in the league. You actually, it's a selfish point of view, but it's actually nice to see our team not losing, and that's always a positive. And
I thought that would be Newcastle have only been down in the second division Championship twice since I supported them, but both times we've cleaned up the league basically, and it was quite nice not seeing you lose every week.
Yeah, but I think Newcastle have got bigger, and because of their history, bigger plans within the Premier League. With Burnley, it's just let's just survive. Let's just survive, and we'll be all good. I'm just on a complete side point. I've just deliberately put up. What's his name? Zeitgold's team, who's top of the YouTube chat league at the moment. He's on 16 points as it stands right now. So Christian's on 16 points with Palmer captain tomorrow. We then have in second place Jared Brennan, who, is there any differentials here? Munoz, I guess. Salah caps, he's got Katara coming on for Gakpo. And then Madeline Tudor. Yeah, it's all just the Salah captors and with the Munoz. Oh, we had João Pedro. Okay. Oh, wow. He's got João Pedro in the bloody team, really? And João Pedro's going to get full bonus as well. You'll be pleased to know Jimenez is getting 2 as it stands right now, Gary. So, yeah, and Sarr, I'm assuming, he's getting 2.
Honestly, this season, I do just feel I'm glad. I don't feel like I'm going to... My goal is always to get in the top 100k, but as I said, even like last week, when on a Saturday night I was 200,000, I almost knew by the end of the game week I'll be back down to low 400,000. I just, you just can't. You just feel like whatever you do, and everyone's gonna everyone's probably going to be wildcarding into a similar team in 31.
Yeah.
You know, whoever the the bench boost is going to be similar because of that. Probably most people have the same triple captain. You know, I'm not sure without going incredibly rogue, maybe I could start captaining Saar every week, Alex. But you know what I mean? Without going incredibly rogue, I'm not sure how I'm going to get up to the top 100,000, even though it's only about 50 points above me. Do you know what I mean? Where are you now?
Probably now down to 2 millionth after Salah doing so well. It's pathetic, really, Gary, to be honest with you. I mean, Jason, he's on 40 points. I don't know how. He's got Henderson, who's getting 3 bonus points in that Crystal Palace game. 3.
Yeah, he's on 11, isn't he? Yeah.
Salah captain, but then he's got Foden, Mamouche and Wood, who's done nothing, but he's still got Isaac and Burmo, Palmer. I mean, the differentials on me are going to be Cucurella, Kirkes and Isaac tomorrow. So it's all really down to quite literally, while me and you are out together, it's going to be one of the most happiest walks of our lives or one of the most miserable days of existence between. We'll probably, in fact, I'm going to tell you now, we'll probably end up recording a video together on my Poxy phone just to give a quick reaction to how we feel about tomorrow. But, I mean, what was it?
I'd expect as such.
PK7 was making the point that I think anybody would take a double-digit score from Palmer. Yeah, absolutely. And then Sunshan saying, but you're not really gaining anymore, which is what you cap Palmer for. And this is the thing. There was nothing wrong with captaining Salah, and there's nothing wrong with captaining Palmer. It's just down to, we're at a stage now where we're 10 game weeks away from the very end of the season.
It's only 10. And,
yeah. Well, there's technically 9 more game weeks to go after Monday, and that's it. That's the end of the season, which is just crazy to think about.
Looking at the overall ranks, so there's the difference between 2 million and 1 million is 45 points, basically. 1 million to 500,000 is basically another 40, 50 points. I'm about, and the difference between that and 100,000 is like another 50 points. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, even if you'd need to gain about 50 points on the crowd just to get back into the top million, Steve, if you were right with you.
Yeah, I need Palmer to get me a hat-trick tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hopefully a hat-trick of anything, hat-trick of assists, hat-trick of goals preferably. But
he scored 4 goals in one half, didn't he, earlier in the season?
Against Brighton, yeah.
Brighton, was it? He had a couple of games and he had another one where he scored a couple and did a hat-trick of assists. But they were both times really early in the season, weren't they? He's not.
Well, his last 3 double-digit scores were 10, 10, and 10. So if I can get 10 tomorrow, then I'll be the last time he got 14 was game week 13 and a 3-0 win against Aston Villa.
Whoa.
But he's got another 10. He's just a person that likes to get 10 points. There's another 10 pointer against your boys Newcastle. Yeah, Brighton, he got 25 points with 4 goals. So
I wonder how many penalties they've had this season, because last season one of the reasons he was so consistent is because they keep getting penalty, didn't they? I'm guessing maybe the number of penalties they've had this year has gone down substantially, and that's why he's not getting the 7-pointers, the 8-pointers in between those bigger scores.
I've no idea.
I don't watch Chelsea, but I'm just thinking, like, I can't see, because no one's saying like he's suddenly become a terrible player, are they?
Well, by all accounts, look, last week he was extremely unlucky not to return anything. What was it? An XG of 5.6 and an XA of 5.10. It's just pure unfortunate luck. And they won 4-0. The only upside is that Chelsea this season, last 3 fixtures at home have ended 4-0 against Southampton, 2-1 against West Ham, 3-1 against Wolves, whereas Leicester away from home is just grim. They lost 2-0 against West Ham, 4-0 against Everton. They did beat Tottenham 2-1, But then you've got 3 losses of 2-1 against Aston Villa, 3-1 against Liverpool, and 4-0 against Newcastle. What I'm looking at here is that Leicester concede lots of goals, and Chelsea can, if and when they want to, can score lots of goals. So tomorrow, like I said, while me and you are out on a walk, it's going to be it's going to be very, very interesting to see how we all get on. Even just one palm return would be very valuable at this point. Yeah, Zyko making that point is true. I think that we're needing a double-digit return, Christian, for us to come out of it and go, you know what, we'll take that. Just one return's going to be a bit near. Anything else to talk about? I can't think of anything. I cannot believe that has just absolutely flown by, Gary. Hopefully my trip to see you tomorrow will fly by as well, in the sense of me getting to you. I'm hoping there's no delays, which there shouldn't be on Sunday. Anything to say before we go?
Not really, mate. I was just wondering what your predictions were for the other games tomorrow. Tottenham and Bournemouth and Man United Arsenal.
So it was... I've gone Brentford... tomorrow. 4-0, 2-1 to Tottenham, and Arsenal to win 2-1, basically.
I need Odegaard and Trossard to do something for me. Been bloody useless since I brought them in. Been nice.
I can't believe you got both of them. Hopefully they
beat PSV 7-0 in the week. And I think Odegaard got a couple and Trossard got one. And I was like, why? You always say this, don't you? They look amazing in the Champions League, and then they get into the Premier League and they're bloody useless. Yeah. Like, why can't they do that?
Replicate their form in the in the Premier.
Just in the...
I was just going to say, put PK7 made a point here. Where he says here, enjoy your evening, chaps, wherever it may hold. Well, mine will be literally going downstairs to make an omelette and then go to the park up the road and then walk around in a circle again for the 3,000th time. Gary, what will you be doing?
I was going to do the joke there. Pot noodle and a wank. That was The Office, wasn't it? Was that?
Yeah, he just goes, oh, don't say anything. I just stayed. Oh yeah, it's with Keith, isn't it?
Yeah.
I just stayed at home and had I had a pot noodle. No, that's Chris Finch. Sorry, Tim does say about that. It's Chris Finch. Yeah. You look shattered, mate. Yeah, you look like you've had a pot noodle and a wank, mate. And he's just this smugly, just.
I'm probably going to do, Steve, is I'm probably going to set up the tier list for our comedy video that we're going to record at some point. So you may get a few messages from me saying, "Shall we include this? Shall we not?" One thing I do want to include, Steve, is I'm going to include Father Ted. I know technically that's Irish, but I love it.
I know Yelena's here. Afternoon. I was going to say afternoon, pal.
Yelena, I was saying earlier in the stream, Az is very near to overtaking you as my number one.
Yes. Yeah. We were slagging you both off. Do you know, one of my goals in life, this is how much of a loser I am, is to make sure that I'm in the studio with Nick, Yelena, and Ash. I honestly think that would be the biggest piss-taking show imaginable. And I mean that.
Who you on with next week?
What are they called? The Sideman? No, not the Sideman podcast. I can't remember. The FPL... Something FPL.
Okay. There's so many of them now, isn't there?
I don't know what they're called. I don't mean to be rude, but like I say, I don't go out of my way to listen to any FPL. Anyway, that's beside the point. But there was something I was about to say to you, and I've completely forgotten it. I'll be watching... Have you seen Prison Break?
No, I've heard you mention that a few times. I am kind of struggling for things to watch at the minute, so I might check it out. Watch
it. It's on Netflix. I highly recommend it. It's very, very, very good. Very good. I mean, I've got it on DVD. So I'm basically on the last 3 episodes of the show. And don't get me wrong, Series 4 is a bit ridiculously over the top, but within the context of the show, it's very good. But series 1 and 2, a bit like with Lost. Have you seen Lost?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Lost.
Right. Like with series 1 and 2 of Lost, which is just unmissable TV. Prison Break series 1 and 2, especially series 1. It takes a while to get it going in series 1, but I think it's like episode 5 or 6. It really does kick in, and you're like, oh my god, you're constantly watching it. So
tell you a bit of a random story. Do you remember I've told you about Lost Explained before? It's like this channel which explains all the intricacies of Lost. I put 2 comments on his video earlier in the week about, I can't even remember what it was about now, very specific things about Lost mythology, and saying, okay, you've covered this and this in the thing, but what about this? And literally within 2 minutes, he had replied with an essay. So I think the guys literally must have like answers written up for every possible comment he can get, and just copy and paste them straight on. But it's really nice that he replies to them. It's good. If anyone is a Lost fan, I would strongly recommend checking out that channel.
Can you send me a link, please?
Yeah, what it can do, mate.
Send me a link on WhatsApp, and then...
Yeah, it's literally going through all the... because one of the biggest criticisms with the show was they didn't wrap a lot of it up, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And he basically tries to do that. I mean, he does go... you do have to... what's the word? He does stretch logic a bit in terms of trying to wrap it all up, but at the same time, he does a good job. Like what I've watched since I've gone back and watched it with the knowledge, true or not, that he's given me, I enjoy watching it a lot more because it sort of fills in some of those things.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say to you as well. You mentioned the fact you're going to be adding Father Ted to the tier list. I think a lot of the conversation is going to be, I've never seen it. So...
Yeah, well, I think didn't we agree if one of us hasn't seen it, the person who has seen it will rank it, and if we've both seen it, then we have to debate it out.
Of course, yeah. Father Ted is something which, again, just does nothing for me. I get the humour.
I love Father Ted. I mean, I am Irish. You probably can't tell, but I am actually.
Right?
My blood is Irish, so
right.
So I have a bit of a family link to it as well, because it was so massive in Ireland in the 90s when it came out. It was brilliant. The Lost Brass sections, like Michael says, I love it. But we can discuss that in that video, can't we?
Weirdly, Jason's on 40 points. I'm on 14. I've got 0 points coming off the bench for Robinson, so that's still 14 points. And then, of course, Katara, whatever he does tomorrow. I've still got Flecken in a minute. Not that I'm going to be watching it, but Flecken in a minute. I've then got double Arsenal defence, which won't be keeping a clean sheet. All hope is, for me, is Palmer, captain, Visser, and Bowen. They're the 3. Because Mbermo's so highly owned. So Palmer, captain, Visser, and Bowen. They're the 3 which could hopefully, potentially see me through. Gary, shall we get out of here?
Yes, mate. Pleasure being on. Please, if anyone's watching, if you haven't done, please have a look at my channel, FPL Have a Beer. I have some interviews on there with some of your favourite content creators, particularly over the international break when there's not much content on. It would be great if you checked it out. Sorry, Steve, I did that without. You can tell I'm getting used to this. So I did that without even you prompting me to plug myself.
Absolutely. Just a quick one from Luke. I don't know how you don't have more views. It's called being shadow banned, but anyhow, I love the chat. Would be good to have the Premier League scores on the left hand side, aka Sky Sports, and both of live FPL GameWeek scores and live rank, and that's Crufts. Unfortunately, Luke, you need to speak to Jason. I'm just the poor sod that can speak for an eternity, and I'm just happy that someone like Gary is more than welcome to join me chatting absolute shite about whatever. So when it comes to the graphical side of things, that's Jason's department, not mine. On that note, thanks everybody for watching. Please make sure you are hitting the like button if you are brand new around here by some miracle and you do enjoy the content that myself and various guests bring to you. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Other than that, you can follow us on TikTok for literally nothing. You can follow us on X for literally nothing. What else is there, Gary? Patreon.
Mention your Patreon, your change. Yeah.
That's a point. So for anybody that, as Gareth says in the office, for anybody that cares, I've decided to basically, any podcast that I record for paying members, so for the $4.99 tier, will then be made available to any member. So either the $1.99 or specifically the free members. A lot of it is personalised content, i.e. people like Gary or whomever will be writing comments to me to answer regarding whatever, and some of the content is timeless, but obviously the football stuff and the FPL stuff will be a week out of date for obvious reasons. But certainly it's an idea that I came out with. Gary agreed with it, Matthew Saishi and various others thought that it may be a good idea to see if it will gain more Patreon followers. Whether it's free or not, I'm really not fussed at all, but certainly if you do join as a free member, you will be able to get free content from now on, but it will be a week out of date.
I'll just say I pay a $5, or I sign up, and I always enjoy it. 3 or 4 times a week, pops up in my email that Steve-O's recorded some random, replying to comments, and I always enjoy a listen of half an hour or whatever. If I'm at work or
they're only
whatever I'm up to.
Yeah, they're only half. An hour is like the longest, and that's rare. They're normally about half an hour long. And like I say, the little community that we've got on Patreon, just asking questions about life and whatnot, and I think people just appreciate that. So if you want to sign up to Patreon for free, there's always going to be a post with the link to that particular podcast. But because there's so many of them, there's like 2 or 3 a week average.
135 now, aren't it?
Yeah, I'm probably going to have to bulk link them together, I think. So, thank you, Andrew, for the kind words. Appreciate it. Right, thanks, everybody, for joining me. And, Gary, thank you for joining along the ride. It's always good doing these streams with somebody. And, I will see you tomorrow, my friend.
See you tomorrow, mate. And see you later, everyone.